Welcome to the Creative Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Caldwell, and I'm so happy you're here. Each episode, I take some time to chat with fellow artists about life, faith, and the impact of the arts. Well, Kim, I'm so just excited and honored to get to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's very exciting.
So fun. It was funny. We were trying to figure out when the last time we would have possibly seen each other was, and it was probably like around 15 years ago.
Long ago.
Long ago, exactly. Although I feel like you look exactly the same. So
do you. So
it doesn't feel like that much time has passed.
We're still living our lives.
Exactly. Well, so grateful to get to introduce you to maybe any listeners or people that are watching today that may not know you yet, or to get to reconnect you with some friends and fellow alum that are watching out there. Do you want to just share a little bit about yourself and where you're at currently? Just a little overview.
Yeah. I am Kim Holloway. And I live right outside Seattle, Washington in Renton right now. And I've been in the Pacific Northwest since 2012, however long that is, 13 years almost.
Wow.
So for a while now. And I'm still doing the dance things. So teaching, performing, and choreographing in different proportions at different times.
Love that.
Yeah. So right now I'm teaching dance, modern, a little bit of like younger level creative movement ballet, and I'm co-teaching a inclusive dance class at the Pacific Northwest Ballet. So that's been really fun. They're building their like inclusive dance program right now, which has been fun to be able to be a little bit of a part of that. And then I'm also teaching a little bit of Pilates. So that's a more recent addition to my little pool of things that I do.
Love that. That's so great.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing for work. And then I perform with Kinesis Dance Project, which is based, the choreographer lives in New York, so she has a bi-coastal company, and so there's sort of a New York branch and a Seattle branch, and she comes, we meet like kind of monthly-ish and have shows every summer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of live, large-scale, site-specific outdoor performance work. So this summer, a couple locations.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And being able to still perform maybe at a pace that's like a little more doable with also teaching and all the other things that you've got going on. So that's so neat. And the Pacific Northwest is beautiful. It's just gorgeous up there.
It really is.
I know it's a lot of rain as well, but I feel like it's worth it for the beauty of the vegetation and like, I don't know.
It's been springtime recently, and so it's like, oh, everything's blooming and the sun is like, the days are getting longer. It's just quite pretty.
So beautiful. Yes, I have some family in Portland, Oregon, and then definitely have been to Seattle a couple of times, and it's just super fun. I always enjoy being up there, and like the air just smells cleaner. I don't know, it's just better. So, especially compared to Houston. So there you go.
I do remember one of my first times being here. I was like, oh, the air smells so fresh.
Yeah, it just smells good. Exactly. I'm glad you understand. I'm not crazy. So.
Oh, I understand.
Yes. Well, if people don't already realize this, we are celebrating Belhaven's 30th year of dance this year, which is super cool. And that's how we're connected, is kind of overlapping a little bit at Belhaven. So I believe you were a senior my freshman year, which is super fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool.
I don't remember how many years we overlapped because we didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I came in the fall of 2008. So yeah, I think it would have been your senior year. And it was fun. I was telling Brittany this too. So Brittany came on the podcast as well. Brittany Walker. Yeah, getting to like see you guys and like look up to y'all. And then it's really fun getting to catch up later and, you know, just in a different season of life and kind of that full circle moment.
So fun.
Yeah, so fun. So maybe we can like rewind back to your early years and what got you into like the arts and dance. And I believe that you mentioned that your mom is very artistic. So I'm curious how that kind of shaped your perception of creativity and art and how that influenced your journey.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, my mom is a creative soul. So she went to college for art, and the first time I think she got married before she finished her degree. So she ended up going back to school to finish her art degree the same time I went to college. And it was right during Napoleon Dynamite too. So it was the whole like everyone was quoting, "Your mom goes to college," and I was like, "My mom does go to college."
Actually does.
Hopefully that's happening right now. But so growing up, we were uh, just there was always kind of art projects. So especially like coming home from college, my mom would be like, she did a lot of work. So she did some like painting stuff and a little bit of everything. But I would come
Yeah.
home and she'd be like, "Kim, I'm carving tiles. Do you want to carve tiles with me?" Or like, she also taught art classes to elementary school kids. So like in high school, I would help her out with her art classes. So I would help some sad paper mache animals back together, or like help some sad clay creations put the arms back on that fell off or something like that. Just like
That's
help
sweet.
out with the art experiences of the children.
Love that.
um but like coming back from college, she'd be like, "Kim, I'm painting, do you want to watercolor with me?" And like, so there just
Yeah.
was this space to make art that didn't have to be something special, which I think
Mm,
was really nice to be like, "Oh, I can just paint a picture, and then it's just a picture, and it doesn't have to be like art that is going
right.
to be sold," or like,
Uh-huh.
because I feel like with dance, like everything, we're working so hard to perform and we practice so much to go on stage, and then you're really working so much for your technique to just be so like this one way. And so I think
Hmm.
having that freedom of play and like being able to like be encouraged, like I crocheted for a while in high school, we made candles, I went through a while where I just made candles, and like
Hmm.
having this just as a part of life, I think really helped kind of the well-roundedness of my art life, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. Helps
that makes
support
sense.
the
Right.
the creative life
Yes.
in a way
That
that,
it is kind
yeah.
of just part of life. Yeah.
Mhm.
Eh,
Yeah.
with less pressure. Yeah. I could see that being really helpful, especially
Yeah.
alongside dance. So,
I think because I naturally do put pressure,
mhm.
so there still is the pressure, but
Right.
also having little outlets of less pressure is helpful.
Yes. That's good. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So then when did you first discover your love for dance?
Oh, I'm so young. I think my mom's like, I had dancing beads when I was like 2 or 3, and I put on the music and dance with my dancing beads, like these long necklaces.
That's amazing.
I started dance classes when I was 3, so I just always danced.
Hmm.
When I was young, I was in a studio that was like worship dance, Christian based. So, and it was very creative, movement-y. So
Hmm.
a lot of like creation story dance and shapes. And we did the tooth dance once a year, which was my
Yeah.
favorite. It was very
Nice.
fun. Someone was the plaque, and someone else was the tooth, and someone else was the toothbrush. So anyways,
That's
it was swum
amazing.
and
That's
taught in public
hilarious.
school. So she was very
Okay.
good with children.
That's so
So
great. That feels very
I
like cross disciplinary too, which is fun.
yeah, I really learned a love for movement and a love for creativity in dance. And then I think later I went to like more of a ballet school in middle school, high school, and it was a little less of a love for the fun of it, but a lot more. I learned the technique and the discipline and really got a lot of the skill that I needed to succeed in dance life. And so I got a
Hmm.
lot of the technique that I use today in my teaching and in, as a basis to get
Hmm.
into college and all of this. Um,
Right.
so then after that, went to college at Belhaven
Yeah.
University.
How did you hear about Belhaven?
I went to summer camp at Ballet Mag,
Yes, I feel like that's
uh,
such a theme. So many of
which
us
I
had
think
that
many people did.
connection.
Many people did,
Exactly.
yes. So when I was like probably 12, I went. And
Okay,
I
cool.
I was homeschooled growing up, and so in high school I was like, I don't know how to go to college. I don't know how to figure this out. And it was
Yeah.
before the internet was like super established.
Hmm.
So
So you
I
couldn't
just
just
like,
really like look stuff up as easily as you can now.
yeah, there
Yeah.
wasn't like the top best dance schools. That wasn't a
Yes.
thing.
Exactly.
So I just was like, well, I went to this place. They have a dance program. I'll audition there. And I got in and I got a scholarship. And I was like, that's great. Let's do it.
Let's do
So I
it.
ended up at Belhaven and I wasn't sure it was going to be a good fit, but it ended up being really good and like what I needed. And it was a really good sort of gradual transition for me, like from homeschool land to like a bigger circle, but still pretty safe. It wasn't like full public university, which would have
Right.
been a shock to my system. And it was like a good education, and it really like I think was a like I made lovely relationships and made some really good friends that I still have today. And yeah, just I had a good experience there. So
That's awesome. Yeah. Is there anything as you look back on your time at Belhaven, anything else that obviously like the relationships, friendships, any other things that you feel like really have impacted your journey post Belhaven, I guess, like that you learned during that time or gained?
I think that some of the things I think about are I did listen to the podcast you did with Brittany,
Yes.
and
Okay, cool.
the Bitsy Irby building was new our freshman year, which
Uh-huh.
was also Katrina year, which will always be memorable.
Oh,
Going to
memorable. When
college
she
and being
said that,
like,
I was like, whoa, I hadn't even thought about y'all's generation of, or your class, I guess, and what you went through.
yeah. We had like freshman orientation and like 2 days of school and then like a week off where we're just like free roaming, like
That's wild. I know,
power
so crazy.
out.
Hmm.
I stayed on campus, so we were all like camping at the chapel building, whatever it's called, in
Yeah.
sleeping bags or
Wow.
like comforter, like got the quilt off your bed and brought it and slept on the floor. Anyways, but
Quite the
made good friends
experience.
and
Yeah.
like
I guess
volunteered
you
at the
had kind of like
shelter and
a bit of a fast track to some friendships there for sure.
totally. It was very bonding.
Uh,
I had a fabulous time personally, but I know that is not what everyone experienced.
right.
Um, but for me, it was great.
That's awesome.
Um, but because the building was new, our freshman class, and probably others as well, but the students were very involved in putting the theater together. So
Yeah.
we plotted the lights and hung the lights and charted the system. A lot of it was like a few specific people. I was not like the most. So like Tiffany Schrepferman went into production, Audrey Lowry went into production, like a couple people like I think from that experience, like their career went that way, at least for a while, some of them.
Yeah.
Um, but I think all of us got a really good working understanding of the production side of dance. because
That's so
we
cool.
really did it. We were hanging the lights, we were focusing the lights, we were like, and I think
Hmm.
everyone did that to some extent, but I think our class did it a little extra because we
Extra
were
for
kind of
sure. Yeah.
putting everything together, which
Yeah.
for me it was a cool experience.
Yeah, I feel like our class was probably, and most of them, a little bit more like, okay, we're gonna get the lights out of focus and then put them back in focus. It's like it's already
Yeah, yeah.
up. So,
The
so
system
yeah.
was a little bit more in place.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's really, really neat that you guys had that experience
Hmm.
as freshmen and coming in. Yeah, super cool. Any like fun random stories or, funny memories or anything from your time at Belhaven?
Oh, I'm sure there's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, a weird random thing that I'm thinking of because of Hurricane Katrina is like right before the hurricane came, all the cockroaches came out. And so there were
That's
just
so weird.
cockroaches everywhere, like one per square of sidewalk almost.
Whoa.
And I was like, and then the hurricane came. I was like, oh, they know it. They know it's coming.
They knew exactly. They felt it coming.
Doesn't really have anything to do with Belhaven at all.
That's a great one though.
Anyways, but that is a memory I have and will always have.
It would be, I think, very, very memorable for sure. That would kind of freak me out. Whew.
Yeah, but I actually have a friend and colleague here who went to Belhaven, but at a totally different time than I did. And so I was talking to her recently, and she shared a memory of, she went to Lakeview, now it's called
Oh,
Dorm.
yes.
But I was just talking about like just the visceral memory of each dorm that you lived in and slept in, and like walking by people's rooms and having a glimpse of like one person had like plants everywhere, or like like
Yeah.
one person like hid up in their little cubby closet and then surprised everyone, just like the little quirky college dorm fun things.
Yes. And each one did very much have a personality to it and different vibes. And
Totally.
yeah, super cool. That's
Totally.
awesome. What were some of the, I guess, experiences post college that have led to where you are now, as far as
Yeah.
like performing, teaching, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Oh, I guess one other Belhaven thing. I think I took Aaron Rockwell did a video class, whatever it was
Yeah, like
called.
dance for camera
Dance for
or
camera. Yes.
something like that.
And we
Yeah.
had the old little video cameras with the little teeny tiny tapes in them that you had
Yes.
to like borrow, I think, from the dance department. And then
Hmm.
everyone went to the actual like, computer lab and edited on their computers
What is
because
this life? I
you
know.
didn't all have your own technology.
Uh-huh. So funny.
First of all, because there were actual tapes in the little camera that you took your friends to go video with.
Hmm.
Anyways, but I still use all of my like knowledge of editing music and video pretty regularly, at
Whoa.
least yearly.
Yeah, that's
That was
awesome.
the basis of my knowledge came from that class, which I'm appreciative of.
Yes. Shout
Um,
out Aaron Rockwell for sure.
yeah, but then after college, I went to Kansas City and danced with Sterling Dance Theater for 3
Yes.
years.
Cool.
And they're just a lovely bunch of humans there. And I feel like in college, with what I don't know, however to say it, but I think I'm naturally kind of more timid and reserved and cautious. And
Hmm.
so going to Sterling, everyone was just like dancing, like full out, confident, like they're performing. And they're like, we are performing in rehearsal, in class, all the time. And so I really learned how to kind of let go of that reserve while I was
Mm.
there. And that was really helpful and
Yeah.
needed and useful, and like an important part, I think, of being a performer is kind of letting go of that caution and wall.
Yes, the wall there for sure.
So
Kind of the self-protection a little bit of
yeah,
like,
I
yeah.
definitely learned that from some of those dancers there who just
Mm, that's beautiful.
go for it. And
Yeah.
I
And
appreciated that.
Jeremiah and Mona, and
Mhm.
right, they were on the podcast maybe about a year ago or
Great.
so. So I can link to their episode too. So if people want to go hear more about, all of the
There's
Sterling
a lot
stuff,
happening there.
super cool. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's
And
awesome.
so I was there for 3 years, but then the third year, so I've dealt with injuries throughout my life
Yeah.
because this happens. I think
Mhm.
certain people more than others.
Yeah.
So freshman year of college, I got a back injury and had surgery after my first year of college on my lowest disc. So then that
Right.
next semester I didn't dance. And then again, after I was in Sterling, I also had to have surgery again on that lowest disc.
Mm,
And so then I didn't really dance that last little while I was there.
yeah.
And I decided that I wanted to move and I didn't want to stay in Kansas forever. I'd always kind of envisioned myself in a bigger city. I was like, oh, New York. But then I was like, oh, no.
I love it.
So I decided I wanted to move and I had really thought through about when and all of that. But I was like, I don't know where to go. So
Right.
I had ended up being on a trip with my church to in Scotland um,
Ooh.
at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival there.
Yeah.
And we were there so it was an arts festival in Scotland, which was super cool. Got to dance there with this amazing musician. We performed like on the streets in Scotland. So that
So
was a cool
cool. I
experience
love that.
also. But one of my college buddies, Victoria McConnell, was there at the same time and she had been living in Seattle. And so she was like, I think you'd like Seattle. You should go there. And so I was like, okay, great. I'll go there.
Like, thank you. Okay, good.
Okay,
Now I have a heading.
sounds good. Let's do it. So I did. I packed up all my stuff. I'd never been to Seattle or the PNW in my life. I just decided to move. And so I
Love it.
drove out to Seattle with all my belongings in my little car. I didn't have a
Yeah.
job or a place to stay yet. And I came out and couch surfed for a month, found some, places to stay, work, all that. And it was a bit of a rough adjustment because I still wasn't dancing because I was still recovering from back surgery. So I was like, I moved here to dance, can't dance.
Right.
And
Just
then
kind of
it
in that
turned,
like in
yeah.
between limbo.
And then it turned into the winter, and the winters here are really dark because the sun sets at like 4 o'clock, which is very sad. And so that
Yes.
winter was
Seasonal depression is a real thing,
sad. It was
especially
really
I think
hard.
they're yeah.
I made it through. I'm still here. It's good, but I was like, what have I done?
What if I got myself into? Yeah. And then I can imagine that first spring when it's like starting to come to life again. That was probably very life giving
Yeah,
emotionally as well. So,
yeah, yeah. And I was really like starting to dance again and got into the first like kind of performance gig here and
nice.
really had more friends and
Yeah.
everything started to bloom with the
Mhm.
springtime.
Love it.
And then the summers here are so beautiful, so that helps too. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Were you starting to
Yeah.
dance with some companies there?
So I've just done freelance stuff here. So I've definitely
Cool.
worked with some people pretty consistently over time, but also just some one-off things. There are some like companies here, but very few. I feel like that model isn't very sustainable in this city. So
Hmm.
there's pretty few like of the traditional companies here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a lot more kind of collectives and pickup companies and projects and
Yeah,
stuff. Um,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
So I've definitely worked with some people consistently. The pandemic put a not, changed some of
Yeah.
that. So there were
Hmm.
two of my favorite sort of jobs people like closed them down and moved to a completely different state across the country. And so the pandemic made a big impact here in the dance scene. But yeah, I like this city a lot for dance. I feel like there just are, it's a very kind of rough and tumble, like up and coming, creative, like it's like there's a lot of ideas and there is a lot
That's
of
fun.
individuality.
Yes.
I feel like it also is a city that is getting expensive faster and faster and faster and faster, so it's hard to support the artists. So it's getting harder and harder to figure out how to navigate that.
Right.
But there's always a way.
Yeah, for sure. And I know something that is a passion for you is that sort of sustainability as an artist and the business side of what it means to be an artist. So I'm curious to hear what makes you passionate about that and why is it important to focus on that business aspect of the arts?
Yeah, I think I have many varied thoughts, so I'm not quite sure what will come out of my mouth.
No worries. We'll take whatever you want to give us.
Right. Yeah, I think that growing up when I was young, everything was so much about performing, and you give everything you can to be a performer, and all sacrifice is worth it. And I think the more that I live, the more it's like, not all sacrifice is worth it.
Yeah.
So that first of all. And so I think trying to figure out what is important to each individual person, and so or organization or whatever, and that could be figuring out like the financial side of things, but it also could be working collaboratively or some other way. Like several years back when I was newer to Seattle, was really interested in learning how to teach professional level classes, but I wasn't ready to go and just try to start a class at Velocity Dance Center, which was the kind of hub of professional classes at the time.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so I was like, well, I want to sort of practice teaching, but how do we do this? So I started with two friends of mine something called Class Exchange, which was sort of discounted classes for professionals, but also a way that teachers could have opportunity to teach professionals. So they wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily make a lot of money, but then they would get this opportunity to kind of learn to teach or experiment with new ideas and that sort of thing. So it'd
Yes,
be,
gain that experience.
yeah. And so we
Yeah.
did that for a couple of years. And it was really helpful for me to kind of build that. And we did
Yeah.
even a couple panels of like, we did like two or three like teachers teaching on teaching, where we got some of the like really established teachers to come in and share their ideas on what makes their classes successful and what their thoughts are on how they teach.
Which
So
is
I
so
think just,
valuable to hear,
yeah. And
from experienced teachers out there. And you can gain so much wisdom, I feel like, in a short amount of time when you have
absolutely.
that opportunity. So, so cool.
Yeah. And so I think I find it really interesting to think about what is needed and then see how you can work into that world.
Start to fit or fill a need or a gap potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the community. That's cool.
Hmm.
Love that. It was
Yeah.
interesting. I lived in Austin for a couple of years, and they had sort of a similar setup in a way, called Austin Community Ballet, and it was just
Cool.
mostly teachers that would come together and take class, and they would rotate who was teaching, and it was a really cool way to make connections, get to know people, and like you said, get that experience
Hmm.
in a different, maybe less intimidating setting, sort of,
Yeah.
as you're growing your skills and
Yeah.
stuff. So I love that you guys just started it. You're like, we see a need here, let's do it. And then I appreciate also the mindset of, well, mindset shift of sacrifice may not always be worth it. And
Mhm.
weighing that out and then figuring out what are the priorities of the person, and or the company, like you said, like some companies, it might be, hey, we're offering you this experience or we're offering you this training or whatever. I feel like there's a lot of those kind of like mentorship programs or
Yeah.
trainee
And sometimes
programs.
that is worth it. I think someone
Yeah.
told me, we'll see if I can get this right. There's like
Yeah.
three things you want to kind of factor in. Like, is it something you're really passionate about? Like the vision, the mission, the like experience of it. That's one factor. Are you getting paid well? That's one factor. Like, is it worth
Mm-hmm.
your time financially? And then
Right.
like, are you going to have fun? Are the people really great? So like,
Yeah.
if you get two of the three, it's probably worth it.
Uh-huh.
If there's just one, it's probably not worth it.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
a really good
So like,
filter, litmus test for
yeah,
people.
it's okay if you like don't get paid if it's all your friends who really like it and there's a good, mission or vision. But if there's only one of the things, just think
Hmm.
about it.
Yes. Maybe think about it a little bit more and
Mhm.
evaluate, figure out, is this really the best fit,
Yeah.
Yeah. Our younger artists and dancers out there, you know, be thinking about it. Really anybody, but especially early in the career, I feel like it's good to kind of really filter through that.
And I think the other thing is like, especially with kind of freelance and everyone choreographing here, you have to kind of produce your own work or get into a festival, and that's fine too. But you have to like write about it and try to fundraise and try to market it and get a
Mm,
theater and do this and this and this and this and this
it's a
and this and
lot.
this. So like
Yeah.
I think now I'm in a place where I think I feel like I can do all the steps needed, but it's a lot of work to put on a dance show above just
Yes.
like making a dance, which is kind of also a lot of work.
Right.
And so I'm trying to think of like with current health concerns that I'm dealing with, like how is there an easier way to do things? What's the easy road? Maybe we don't have to do all of the things on the checklist. So
Yeah.
that's something I've been thinking about recently.
Right. And like, are there ways to maybe partner with someone or some organization to make it a little bit easier, or whatever the resources might be in different communities, people can look into. Yeah. Cause you're right. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Trailblazing and creating your own path forward. So, in a lot of ways, yeah, I know you mentioned kind of current health challenges and struggles. I'd love to hear how you've been processing that. Maybe if you'd be willing to share some of your story of these more recent health struggles, and then we can kind of go from there.
Yeah. So in August of 2021, I fainted and hit my head on the ground and got a solid concussion. So, yeah. And then I had vertigo, which is where the room is spinning. And at one or
Mm-hmm.
two points, it was like so much you had to like hold on, or you're just gonna fall over because like
Wow.
your body doesn't know what's happening. But
Yeah.
that got resolved.
Good.
But basically, the doctors don't always know what's happening with brain things. And so they're like, "Eh, you
Mm-hmm.
should just get better." So I haven't gotten better, and it's been, a
Yeah.
couple years now.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just recently found this online course that I feel actually quite hopeful about, but I feel like I'm basically like retraining myself how to live. Like
Whoa.
that course goes from the very basis of like kind of mindset first, of like deep breathing and basically meditation, mindfulness, which is just really like being present in the present moment and like
I
trying not to like let your brain be all over and like trying to notice what you're feeling and know that you have feelings and be
yes.
kind to
More in
yourself
tune with
instead of be
uh,
frustrated that you're feeling feelings or be frustrated that your head hurts and be like,
mm,
oh, it's normal to feel frustrated. So I can be kind to myself because everyone gets frustrated. So
Yes.
I can try to be nice to myself because everyone gets frustrated and this is hard right now. So like
Mm-hmm.
just those sorts of mindset things is where it starts. And then now they're talking about food and how to eat well.
Okay. Yes.
And then they'll talk about sleep. And then they'll talk about exercise. And then they'll talk about actual like treatments for concussion.
Okay.
But they're like, you have to build all these sort of foundational things. And some of the things, because it's my autonomic nervous system is off. So the fight or flight is like up here all the time,
Mm,
or it
yeah.
gets up really easily. And so any normal stressor, I can like feel my body like just really out of whack.
Mm,
And so there's like a list of things that calm your nervous system down. And like one of them is like singing. So on the paper that I printed out from online, it's like sing every day. So
yeah.
I'm like, I haven't sung regularly in years,
Yeah.
especially since I've been feeling poorly, you know?
Right. You don't really, that's not the first thing
That's
you're
not a
thinking
thing.
to
I've
do.
definitely not been singing since I've been feeling bad.
Huh.
And so I'm like
Yeah.
trying to sing along to songs now, and it makes me feel better, regardless of my autonomic nervous system. But also, that's good for you. Even one of the things on the list is prayer. That
Mm,
is like even just any from any culture, but prayer makes your nervous system calm down, which is fascinating to me. So, anyways, just these things, and some of it's like drink water with lemon in it, so like
yeah.
simple life things. I'm trying to find the simple life things.
I love that. And it
Let
feels
my
more
body sort of
achievable, you know?
reset
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
And I think these little teeny tiny things that are actually like real things, not like
Mhm.
eat healthy. And you're like, oh,
Right. It's like
okay.
such a big, and what does that even mean? Because there's so many different versions of what
Yeah.
is healthy, you know? So,
Exercise and eat healthy. Okay.
uh-huh.
Cool. That's really great.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, okay, I can
Um,
sing a song every day and drink some lemon water. I can do that.
yes. Yes, we can accomplish this for sure.
That is a real thing I can do.
And it can be formed into a rhythm, I feel like, of
Yeah,
sorts, which
totally.
is really helpful.
But it's so interesting learning because I've learned about my back because of back surgery. I've learned about a couple different body parts because of different injuries,
Hmm,
but
yeah.
learning a little bit about the nervous system as a whole and brains as how they function has been really interesting and just also given me just a lot of like empathy and compassion for just people who deal with so many different like there's so many people with invisible disabilities or just different stressors in life, and there's so many things in people's lives that are invisible that people deal with, and we just never know what other people are dealing with. And so I think giving myself grace and also trying to give other people grace
Hmm.
has been, I don't know, just like learning about being human. I feel like
Yeah.
has been a bit of this season. And then trying to take that being human and like having a much lower capacity. Like for a while, there's this idea in some circles of having spoons, and that's your capacity. And like you have 4 spoons, you can do 4 activities. That's how much energy you have for things. So like you can go to the store, go for a walk, make dinner, and watch a show. That's
Yeah.
all your brain can do. There's no more spoons. After those are gone, there's nothing else. You
Yeah.
cannot do an email or, you know, sweep the floor. No more spoons. So, like, most people might have 10 spoons. If you have 4 spoons, that's all you got. No more spoons. So, if taking a shower takes up a spoon, you got 3 spoons. So, like, learning what your actual capacity is and not pushing past it because then that takes
Hmm.
away not just your capacity, but your actual health,
Yeah.
or like at least my actual health. for
Right.
potentially weeks, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
So
And I
just
would
like,
imagine the ability to heal as well. Like your body then
yeah,
is just in survival
exactly.
mode,
Which
I
is,
guess.
I think, why I haven't healed so yet.
Mm.
I think that is the main thing. And so, like, really trying, which is so counter to how I've lived my whole life, which is always like push through and do the things. And then there's like so hard not to compare. There's always, like, even just in ballet and dance in mirrors, there's
Yeah.
comparison,
So
but
built in.
also our culture with social media, there's just so
Mm-hmm.
hard not to compare,
100%.
just
Yes.
naturally. So I think I've mostly been offline for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I've been mostly not going to shows because going to shows gives me a migraine. So it's been really interesting to mostly just be living in my own life
Mm-hmm.
and what that is. And then it's magical to go to a show. Like if I actually go, like I went to like a not so great student show and I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, it's amazing. I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
so sweet.
look at these dancers expressing their feelings. It's so beautiful. So
Yeah. Everything kind of has
everything's
freshness.
fresh. Or like watching a show on TV, if you haven't watched a show on TV for a year, is like,
I bet. I hadn't even thought about that, but I could see that being
uh, anyways.
such an experience after not. Yeah.
So
Definitely.
it's been fascinating.
Yeah. I'm curious, any other insights? Those are also so good and so fascinating. Any other insights just through this healing journey, just maybe in general or potentially as an artist specifically, that you've kind of come to find through this time?
Yeah. I think for me, I found that what's really important to me right now with dance, what I love the most about dance is being in a room with people. And so I think that I'm trying to do things like I've been meeting with three other friends once a month, once every other month, or, like semi regularly. And we're just kind of starting a little collective and just like creating together. And that's so wonderful to me. But like, I don't feel like I need to be in a studio by myself making dances right now because
Mm,
that's not what is fueling me right now. So I
yeah.
think like maybe finding what is life-giving or what is actually like exciting,
Yeah.
you know? And then if it's not exciting, like I used to really love being in a studio by myself, even for hours at a time. But right
Hmm.
now, I do not want to do that.
Yeah. It's like just
So
not
like
the
I
right
think like
fit
being
for the
curious
season.
about that and
Yes.
letting that change.
Hmm. That's such a good word for all of us.
It's
Yeah.
a thought.
I'm just really proud of you as just a fellow like sister, I guess, and fellow traveler in life, but just super proud of you for continuing forward and also giving grace for yourself and others, and just continuing to dive into, okay, what does it look like to walk through this healing process
Mhm.
and find healthy ways of doing that, and yeah, just super cool. So yeah, I'm like very inspired by your journey and getting to hear that. So thanks for being willing to share, because I know it's probably like been a lot. Yeah.
It has. It's not always been not been easy.
Yeah.
I think another thought that really has helped me over time is there's a book somewhere on the internet, I'm sure, called 50 Dancers Dancing Over 50 or something like this. And I looked at that at one point and just they ask you like or asked them about success and what success looks like for them. And I think I realized at one point that like the things that I used to think of would be success, at some point I had done them, but I'd never
Mm.
felt like, oh, I've succeeded now. I've always,
Yeah.
that has always pushed out further.
Mm-hmm.
Like it never has felt like I have succeeded. There's always something else that then feels like, or someone else, or something else. And so I think I've decided, or I'm trying to decide for myself, that being able to enjoy my life today is success.
Mm. So
And I think,
beautiful.
especially in this time of healing and not always feeling good, like if I can wash my dishes and be happy about it, I
Mm-hmm.
have succeeded. And if I can still
So
be
good.
creative and like be connected to other creative people, then I think I'm succeeding. And
Mm-hmm.
then opportunities like this come up that I didn't think about or try to make happen. And that's
Yeah.
beautiful and so exciting. So
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Exactly. We don't necessarily have to strive all the time, things. I love that there's things that unfold over time, or and redefining or defining for the first time maybe like what is success for
Yeah.
us. Yeah, for each of us. I think that's so helpful, and I feel there's so much wisdom in all of the things that you've been talking about. Yeah, and I love seeing kind of your journey and how you found movement to be part of healing as well. And yeah, any other thoughts on kind of how movement can be a vehicle for healing, I guess? Because I'm sure sometimes it feels like, oh, this is making it worse, depending on the movement, maybe, or how you go about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think there's some of that, but I do think that movement, I think a lot of my life I didn't always have language for my feelings. And so movement gave me expression for what I didn't have words for.
Mm,
Um, and I think in that way, for me, it was really, really important and healing. I do think that movement is healing for bodies as well. Like, if someone does not move, their body loses strength, it loses fluidity. Like, there's fluid in our bodies, in our joints, and
yeah.
moving them lubricates them. Like, I think
Yes.
naturally, like, even going on a walk is enough movement to give our body life. I think just our bodies are meant to move. So I do
Yes.
think that naturally, like, I think our emotions can get stuck in our bodies, and it doesn't always take dance to move them out, but I think just movement in general. And I think dance has more expression and more movement of more parts of the body, so it can be extra sensitive to some people. It can be more vulnerable, but it can also
Mm-hmm.
be more freeing. So there's,
So good. Yes. That's so good.
all layers there, but
Huh? Love, love, love that. Yeah. Well, this has been so fun just getting to kind of touch on some different topics
Mhm.
and parts of your journey. And I feel like you already gave some great advice for younger dancers and encouragement, but is there anything else that comes to mind that you want to share? Like the current college student or high
The
school student
current
that's coming
college
up.
student, oh, I'll just be kind to yourself, be kind to other people.
Yes, that's the best. I love it. And then in general, anything on your heart that we didn't talk about yet that you want to share with fellow artists out there?
I think I just have enjoyed this conversation, and I feel like, yeah, it feels so important to have conversations and whatever. I feel the energy of connection out in the world.
Yes.
So, yeah, I would love
There's
to connect with people and hope for more of this in the
yes.
future.
For sure. I know there's something so special about connection and about having conversation and getting to share stories and share experiences, And speaking of, is there if people did want to get in touch with you,
Mhm.
especially maybe fellow alum from
Mhm.
back in the day, or
Yeah.
just any listeners, is there a good way to connect with you right now?
So I am on Instagram and Facebook. I don't check either very often, but I do look at them eventually.
Okay, cool. So they can just sit in the inbox and then just know eventually you will see it.
My more professional Instagram got hacked, sadly, a couple years ago, and I could not get into it because the Instagram people thought that I was not me.
Okay.
Kimberly Holloway Dance no longer exists. It is gone forever. But you can look at my videos if you want to.
Nice.
So my Instagram is K Hollow HOLLO 7. And that's me.
Perfect. That's perfect. Well, I'll definitely link to that in the show notes as well. And yeah, okay. 2 final questions, more like fun questions. So it seems like I loved that there have been books kind of throughout your journey. Like you mentioned, the 50 Dancers Over 50, that kind of one, that have been impactful for you. And so either is there a book that has been a favorite from your journey or even currently that you're loving right now?
There's probably several. I do love The Artist's Way, which I think I mentioned to you sort of before we talked.
Yes. It sounds so good.
And I realize I've never actually been through the whole thing, but especially if you ever feel stuck as an artist, that has always been sort of a refresher and kind of get the creative juices flowing and sort of also kind of help that self-kindness. And I don't know, it's just really, yeah, a good general, like overall creativity
Love it.
enhancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. And then just for fun, I'm curious, what is one of your favorite things right now?
So I'm going to say my chickens. I have 3 chickens.
It's so fun.
They're kind of making loud noises outside right now, so you might have heard them in the background. Their names
Perfect.
are,
I haven't, but if we can hear it in the recording, that would be awesome too.
they're little quirky creatures, and they're fun to just like feed random table scraps and watch them get super excited. Their names are
Uh-huh.
Ketchup, Cookie, and Pepper.
Cute. Oh my goodness. I love it. Ketchup, cookie, and pepper.
They're fun little creatures.
Yes, that's so great. It's really I feel like any animals, they're just really fun to watch and like see. And great conversation topic or like starter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, people over or whatever. So it's so fun. I love it. Well, Kim, this has been such a joy and just so fun to get to know you on kind of a different level, which is really fun, and get to hear where the journey of life has taken you so far. And I'm excited to hopefully continue like staying plugged into what you're doing. And
Yay.
yeah, so thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for just being vulnerable and sharing, so much of what you've been walking through. And I know it's going to be such a gift to every single person that gets to listen in. So yeah,
Thank you so much,
thank you for this
Rachel.
time.
And thanks
Yeah.
for all the wonderful questions and for just doing this wonderful podcast.
Aw, thanks, friend. Thank you all so much for listening to the Creative Impact Podcast. The music for the show was produced by Michael Cash. Until next time, remember that you were designed to create. You were made to inspire. Continue living with purpose and making an impact. I'll see you next time, friends.